And welcome back. RapidLion, the South African International Film Festival, kicks off tomorrow until the 10th of March. The festival showcases feature films and documentaries from BRICS countries, the African continent and the diaspora, as well as awards excellence in 18 categories. Jan Harlan, executive producer on Stanley Kubrick's movies and others, joins us. He worked with Stephen Spielburg as well on the film Artificial Intelligence. Jan Harlan will be doing a 3-film masterclass this weekend on Saturday and on Sunday. The opening will be with Maynard's Crux Films, and we'll tell you about it in just a moment. But Eric Mien is a festival director. Very good evening and welcome to you both. Perhaps let's just talk about the 4th year of this festival and what you're hoping to achieve with this one.
Well, first of all, we've always had the idea of a spotlight because our motto is better cinema through collaboration. What that means is we have to be able to work with different nations, different skilled people from all over the world to get our film product to be really good.
And that's Jan Harlan.
We're very excited to have Jan Harlan, of course, giving 3 awesome master classes, starting on Saturday with 2, ending off on Sunday with 1. So that would be the calling card, how to make a short film so that you can work in the feature film business. Not just the director, but everybody involved. Come and learn about that. It's all in the scripting, how to make a great movie on a low budget. Some of you might remember Full Metal Jacket, one of the cheapest war movies ever made, but probably the best ever made. And then, of course, we've got scripting with music, a possible pillar of the film structure. So 3 great lectures. But the festival overall, obviously this year we have about 29 events for film practitioners to come for free and get involved. Okay. And then we've got movies as well, which goes to about 110 movies.
Let's talk about the movies that you've made, Mr. Harlan, and you coming to the continent, and as I mentioned, the BRICS countries. The narrative has always been something that Africans have been very careful to emphasize about ensuring that our identity, we get it right and we export to our people what we'd like. So what are you hoping to get out and also put in relation to that?
Well, I'm now 82, right? So in my last chapter of my life, I give back what I have received. I now work at film schools all over the world, and I'm particularly excited to talk to young people, to tell them that film production is a manufacturing process. The art has to be pulled in through artists. And the main thing to make a film is an idea and a passion and a love for what you want to do. Money comes way down the line. Yeah, it's really other ideas that make a great artist. In that respect, filmmaking is not different from a novelist, a painter, a composer. It's one person. But
money is important, though, in the final product, just in terms of if you have something that you'd like to make that maybe people don't agree with. Surely that plays a big role.
Well, that's where RapidLion, to a large degree, comes in. We put ourselves as a potential Cannes of Africa and the developing world. Now, if you understand Cannes, people think it's about the red carpet, it's about people looking well. If you think the Oscars are about it, no, they're actually selling a product. But of course, the product is an artistic expression. Now, an artistic expression that does not move loads of people, even if it has a great message, it's a useless artistic expression. If it stays on your shelf and nobody sees it, what's the point? Now, this is a man who's been on some of the most watched films by one of the best filmmakers in the world. But what he's trying to bring here is to say, if that is your aim, if fame is your aim, you're in the wrong business. If money is your aim, you're in the wrong. But if you want to learn about the craft of making a film, if you want to learn about the fundamentals and what it makes great movies that people come and watch in the end, come to these master classes. He's doing it all over the world. It's not just here. But it's the first time on the African continent, and RapidLion brought him here. And if you missed this opportunity, I don't know what you're thinking. If you're a filmmaker,
Mr. Harlan, authenticity is not something that you can teach, especially in telling your story to the world. So in your master classes, how are you going to approach this particular thing? As I said,
All right. I want to stress that filmmaking is, to want to make a great film is a bit like being in love. Because it sorts out all priorities. It focuses on what you really want to get done. It changes all priorities. That's really important. And if you write, or if you don't write and you have an idea, then you have to see how do you do it. Now, there's one person, it's the amalgamation of the writer and the director and the filmmaker. Okay, he needs or she needs many more people, great actors, designers, cinematographers, all this is right. None of them make the film. The film is made in the end by one person, this amalgamation. And for young people, it's very important that they are inspired by that idea and at the same time being warned that you have to be very self-critical and very, very careful. It's very easy to make a film. It's very difficult to make a film that other people want to see. And a great film is almost a miracle, like a great novel, a great painting, or a great symphony. This doesn't happen like that.
And at the core of this discussion is that if you are here to say apartheid was bad, you're most likely going to make a bad movie. If you start off by wanting to be a great movie, you're going to tell a great story of how bad apartheid was. So let's get the fundamentals right. And that's what I'm saying. RapidLion is essential about the craft of filmmaking.
Going to do that, I believe.
Say it again?
Your opening film for the festival, I believe, is going to do that, reflect on...
Well, we're opening with a movie called The Last Victim. So if you want to see it before anybody else sees it, come to opening night tomorrow. Web Tickets is selling all our tickets for RapidLion 2019. And we have amazing films from China. We have, A Silent Winter, which is absolutely stunning. From Brazil, we have... Friendship Never Dies. It's all amazing. But I'm getting lost in my excitement about the festival, to be honest with you. But The Last Victims is a story of an unlikely collaboration between a death squad member and a survival of the death squad from apartheid days to try and find a unit, an MK unit that disappeared in apartheid. So you could be talking Mandela reconciliation, you'd be talking New South Africa, everybody working together. It's all in this film. But what we are saying is that if you think this film is great, it's not great because it tells that story. It's great because the filmmaker has learned the fundamentals of telling a story properly.
And I want to find out from you, Mr. Harlan, how do we as African export, films about conversations that are not considered sexy? How do we ensure that transatlantic, that relationship is mutual? Because it is unbalanced at the moment.
I don't think it matters. Sorry.
Okay. Let's give you
So, I don't think it matters where a film comes from. Right now, you have fantastic examples. I mean, feature films in America. Roma, it's a Brazilian film. Capernaum, it's
Mexican,
a film. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So, you don't have to be local only. You have to be good, and people love to get an insight in other cultures. But there's a technique of storytelling. There's a famous quote by Billy Wilder, the 10 commandments of filmmaking. 1 to 9, don't be boring. And number 10, have total control. And this is so important. And this is true for painters, for writers, for composers, and also for filmmakers.
I just want to talk about, I know one of the things that you'll be looking at is women-made films.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering about the storyline there, because Mr. Harlan here says, don't be boring. Sometimes people do get bored about conversations about gender equity or issues focusing on women because they feel it doesn't interest them. So what can we expect here?
Nobody gets bored by a well-told story that gives you a perfect new angle. Nobody gets bored by anybody who's able to do that. Can you do it in film? Can you do it as a story writer? Can you do it with your painting? The best ones can. Now, we are saying that it's Women's Day at RapidLion because International Women's Day always falls in the middle of RapidLion. So it's on the 8th of March every year, and RapidLion happens to So what we're going to show are films made by women, films that are about women, largely by women. You come and judge how great they are. Not all of them are busy with Me Too. Some are. But, not, but women are humans. They are telling human stories. But because we have these problems with sexism and stuff, it's okay to say on this day we honor what they achieved, because it's not done all the time. However, they are telling multiple stories. So come and see them. We have BRICS Day on Wednesday.
Very quickly, where can people get the tickets?
Webtickets.co.za is where you get all the tickets. They range from 30 Rand. I mean, if you're an adult, you're going to pay 45 Rand. The classes start from 65 Rand. So come through and check it out. Webtickets.co.za.
Mr. Harlan, in 30 seconds, your parting shots to aspirant filmmakers out there.
Right. Well, you mentioned film made by a woman. Look at Capernaum. It's a new film. It was nominated for the Oscar. It didn't win. It's brilliant.
All right. Thank you very much to both of you, Jan Harlan and Eric Myeni. Harlan is the executive producer on Stanley Kubrick's movies and festival director, SA International Film Festival, Eric Myeni. Thank you so much to both of you.